Dude, shall I open the hair now?
No.
Listen, dude, look, how is it looking? Just
The
see.
concept of patriotism is a very complex one.
Yeah, such
It is not as simple as reciting a pledge or singing an anthem.
Patriotism is the exaltation of national eminence and an emotional attachment to the nation that one originates from.
But like all evolutions, patriotism has also evolved with time. There was a time when patriotism meant to sacrifice oneself for our motherland. The poem rendered by the students will depict patriotism as what it was
do
then.
that. Who's doing
The following is an extract of the translated version of the Urdu ghazal written by the Arya Samaji Ram Prasad Bismil, who was executed by the Britishers at the age of 30. But little did the British know that Bismil had left his spirit behind in these words, which would go on to inspire many youngsters after him, the foremost of which were Shahid Bhagat Singh and his comrades.
The desire for sacrifice is now in our hearts. We shall now see what strength there is in the bows of the enemy. Armed as the enemy sit, ready to attack on that side. Ready too are we. Our bosoms thirst out to him on this side. With blood we shall play holy if our nation is in need. The desire for struggle is in our hearts.
No sword can sever hands that have the heat of the battle within. No threat can bow heads which have risen so. Even furthermore, will light the flame that is inside us. The desire for struggle is in our hearts.
We set off from our homes, our heads shrouded with cloth. Holding our lives in our hands, do we march so? In our assembly of death, life is now but a guest. The desire for struggle is in our hearts.
Stands the enemy in the gallows, thus asking, does anyone have a wish for martyrdom? With a host of storms in our heart and revolution in our breath, we shall knock the enemy cold, and no one shall stop us.
The
desire for struggle is now in our hearts. We shall now see what strength there is in the bows of the enemy. Today, patriotism means constant vigilance and asking whether the direction that our country is headed in is the right one and whether that direction makes our country a better place. We will now render a few lines which will depict what patriotism means to us today.
Patriotism is taking pride in and love for your country. It is a love without condition. It comes with the understanding that when you look back on history, there will be things that one can point to and be proud. It also comes with the understanding that when you look back on history, there will be things that were regrettable. These moments are acknowledged as lessons learned and shape the future to be what it is today and all it will be in the future.
So, being a patriot involves some type of contribution and recognition of past and present efforts that reminds us what holds us together in the national interest. Patriotism is a spirit of comradeship for those who share a country regardless of their background or walk of life. It's about working not just for oneself, but for the good of all.
To me, patriotism means to support the values set forth in the Constitution, to give more than I take, to try to always be kind, to have a smile for everyone, to treat all people with respect, to advocate peace and environmental protection, to ensure that everybody, regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, or religion, has the opportunity to enjoy the democratic freedom of our nation, to understand that equality means everybody and not just a chosen few. Our democracy is unique. There isn't another one like it, and I want to preserve it for our future. Patriots work to make their country better. Patriotism understands that the work never ends and that a nation is always a work in progress. Patriotism starts at home and begins with me.
Even though we are true and loyal patriots of our country, we still have to work towards the day when we can proudly say that we live in a country which, in the words of Rabindranath Tagore, is a heaven of freedom.
Where
Where the mind is without fear, by
Rabindranath
Rabindranath
Tagore.
Tagore.
Where the
Mind is without fear, and the head is held high.
Where knowledge is free,
where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls.
where words come out from the depth of truth,
Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection.
Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit.
where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.